This segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find out some information.
We're trying to get some best tournament information.
Yeah, and it's
having a hard time. If anybody's got some information about the tournaments coming up this weekend, any kind of weather.
Yeah, we're talking about the Shriners Tournament. Shriners Tournament is this Saturday. It's the John David Memorial Bass Tournament. It's held at Hendersonville on Old Hickory Lake at Saunders Fair Park. And the reason I'm trying to find out some information is to let you know information about it also. They're calling for 5 to 6 hours of severe thunderstorms starting about 4 o'clock in the morning. And of course the registration starts for that tournament at 4 or 4:30. So we're going to be in the middle of some thunderstorms, and I was trying to find out, you know, do they want to delay it? Do they want to postpone it? What do you want to do? And so we're trying to find out information because it is an open tournament. It is an open charity tournament, and that affects more than, say, a club tournament.
Right.
A club tournament, they'll postpone it, or they'll wait and put it off and have a makeup day. We'll find out, and we're trying to find some information out for you and let you know. You can call us here at 615-737-7767. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about what's going on in the outdoors till those calls start coming in. You know, we've hit a little bit on CWD, and like I said, this is a hot topic for Tennessee, so we're gonna hit on it a bunch more before deer season, but it's all because we want you to be so much more informed than the rest of the public. Our viewers need to know what's going on, and you know, because you're going to get inundated too with questions from other hunters, and they're going, well, what if you do that? Well, then you'll know the answer, and that's what we're trying to do, is get you as much information. Now, back to the one other subject that we like to talk about, and has been a thorn in everybody's side, is the Asian carp.
Yes.
Been finding out a lot of stuff here lately, though, Brandon, about the Asian carp. You know, they're in the Mississippi, they're Tennessee River system, but TWRA is doing some things to keep it from moving, and such as underwater. They've put underwater speakers that emit a sound that the Asian carp cannot stand.
Yeah, they'll turn away.
They turn away from it. So they're putting them at the dams, that's how they travel from lake to river, and from river back to a lake again, is through these locks. When a ship locks in or a barge locks in, all that water's got all those Asian carp. When they let it go, everything goes out of it. So that's how they're getting from one place to the other. So TWRA is trying their best to put these in place to keep those Asian carp at bay, or keep them away, or at least minimize the amount of Asian carp coming in. We do have a caller.
Yeah, we got a couple here. We got one. Okay.
Richard, how can we help you tonight?
Hello?
Yes, Richard.
Yes.
How can we help you tonight, brother?
I was talking. This is about that Asian carp. What are they gonna do about them things anyway?
Well, that's what they're doing right now. Is they've hired a bunch of commercial fish. Not hired. They have contracted commercial fishermen at a certain price per pound to go after the Asian carp. There is a big market for it right now. There is I believe there's a pet food company that's buying a bunch. There's some other companies that are buying a bunch of this fish. So they're trying their best. But I think the main focus of TWRA right now is, we know we got them. Let's try to keep them from spreading.
Yeah, keep them where they are is the biggest goal right now, I believe, is what they're looking at doing. And one other little thing is these tournaments.
Going on with them, and I appreciate it. I always like to watch y'all.
Well, we
Thank
appreciate
you
it very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Jay on 3.
Jay, how can we help you?
Jay?
Hey.
How are you tonight?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jay.
On that free fishing day, can you fish with a trout line and jugs too?
Yeah.
I don't know about.
I don't know about.
I don't know about the trout. I mean, jugs, I would imagine so. I don't know about trout if you'd have to have a trout stamp or not.
I thought he said trot line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said trout.
Trot line or
probably so. I would say that would be fine.
I was wanting that question answered too. That's good.
Okay.
You answered all of them.
Okay. I was going to say, I
now I'm
believe
going to
you
tell
would
you,
probably
now
have to have
trout,
a
I'm
trout.
not sure if
I
you
bet
don't have to have, you better have that permit.
Yeah.
But now
likely.
trot line and jugs, I can tell you, they're going to let you, but now you have to have your name and your phone number on that trot line or on those jugs. Okay? You don't have to have your license number, but you do have to have your name and your phone number. Okay?
Okay.
So, as long as you do that, you're legal.
All right. And Brandon, what lake was you in when you caught them catfish?
Old Hickory Lake. We've been on Old Hickory the last couple of weeks chasing them, and we've had some really good success. Some days are slower than others, but there's been a few real good ones.
All right. Thank y'all. Like y'all show.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night. All right.
I got dry mouth all of a sudden. I tell you what, but that's some good questions.
Yeah, it is.
But if you are going to fish for trout, I think you do have to have.
And that's what I thought he had said, but I bet you do. I've not looked into that, but I would imagine you'd probably have to have a trout permit.
Well, that's a kind of a prerequisite.
And it's not federal; it's state-based, but it does go back to the trout hatchery, so I don't know exactly how that works.
The monies go back to the trout hatcheries, and it's to buy food and equipment to raise them. So
it takes a lot to keep that. The trout is a put and take fishery.
Have you ever been to the one in Flintful?
It takes a lot. Yeah, I've been to.
I love that place.
They're a lot of fun to go to. I like the one at Dale Hollow is one of my favorites.
Well, the one at Dale Hollow is nice, but I went down there to Flintful and just was thoroughly impressed with those brown trout they have down there. Some of them are 9 and 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Big old females.
Yeah.
And they just grab the eggs and then they hatch them. And then that's where you get all the little fingerlings, where we get Shelby Park and all those places here in Nashville. That's where they get their trout, is from the Flintful hatchery. It's pretty amazing. They got another wonderful place in Springfield, Tennessee, which is just north of here. But they raise walleye, striper, what else? Sauger. A few other things.
A lot of people don't know about that. Most people know about the trout hatcheries, but they don't know how much other work goes on. I mean, there's catfish hatchery, there's trout.
There's everything.
Walleye, stripe. I mean, the guys here with TWRA work year round to keep fish on the end of our line. I mean, they never quit. Every day.
And David Roddy is one of my good friends. He's over all of the hatcheries across the state. David is a fantastic guy, just a wealth of knowledge that he carries around with him. But I've done a couple of pieces with him up there when he was over Springfield Hatchery, and we actually got to film the walleye being hatched out of the eggs. Oh, that was neat, and so pretty neat experience.
Got somebody on one here.
And who we have?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Doing? David, go ahead, David.
Yeah, how y'all doing? This is my first time
doing
calling.
Good.
Well, thank you.
Good. So, thank you. I was calling. I wanted to know what I can do. I live in the urban core of Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm not big on hunting or fishing, but not that I'm against it. But my main concern, they're building a lot of stuff around Nashville. And, of course, you have snakes and other animals that have been living under these buildings, I guess, all these years, and it's tearing down things, blowing up stuff to build new construction.
Right.
And I want to do something to prevent, like, any kind of rodents or mainly snakes from entering my nearly acre property. Is there anything I can do to line my hedges, put some type of spray barrier that's still pet friendly, or something that would repel them from even wanting to enter my perimeter of my yard? And I'll hang up and listen. I hope y'all have a good evening.
Thank you so much, David.
I don't know about a like a liquid barrier or anything like that, but you did hit on basically your main answer when you were asking your question. If you will focus on keeping rodents and other things like that, the snake's food, away from your property, you'll keep the snake away a lot more. If you have a lot of brush and things around your home and you've got mice and things like that around the house, you will have snakes around there to be after them.
It's natural food.
That would be my number one suggestion. Just make sure you keep on top of any kind of rodents.
The best thing that you can do is keep your place clean.
Yes, clean, clear area.
No lumber, no brush piles, nothing out there that stays more than 3 or 4 days. Get rid of it. And it gives you every chance for the snake not to set up shop there, or a field mouse, especially right before winter, field mice like to come in. If they got nowhere to stage to come in, then you're not going to have a problem.
Yeah, that's right.
So we appreciate that very much, David.
Who did we have, Daisy?
Lisa.
On 3?
Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a minute.
Lisa, how can we help you?
I have a question.
Sure.
On the free fishing day, is a fish not a fish? Is a trout not a fish?
Yes. Trout is a fish.
Okay.
The problem is...
In order to fish for a trout, you've got to have a stamp.
Maybe. We don't know that. We're just saying make sure for that.
We're asking you to make sure, okay? We don't know for sure that you have to have a permit. I'm not sure if that's waived on June 8th or not. But what we are saying is the trout are different than the other fish. It takes a lot more equipment and money to raise a trout. And that's why we're saying check to see if you have to have a permit. You may not have to.
Yeah, you might not. I just don't want to give wrong advice and tell you don't need one to get you a ticket.
You don't have to have it and then you get a ticket for it.
Okay.
I would just check. You can go on to tnwildlife.org and check on their website. But on their free fishing day, it has a whole list of things that is available to you as a fisherman on that day, and it will answer your question. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Have a good night.
And a very good question. It is. But I do want people, and I know that trout is a fish. I do know that. But here's the other thing. It doesn't take near the money to raise a crappie that it does a rainbow trout.
No, it doesn't. It's
nowhere near.
You can't. It's a lot of it's a numbers game too.
It is a numbers thing.
So, and that's what it's all about. And again, it may be waived for that weekend.
It may be.
We're not into giving wrong advice. We know the answer. We'll tell you.
But I'm gonna look it up right quick.
That's right. I certainly don't want anybody getting a ticket.
I don't want it. No. And all a judge will say is a lack of information is on you, not us.
Yeah, don't be telling them to call Southern Woods and Waters or anything.
That's right.
Who do we have on 4? Sorry guys, it's time to go over and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being sponsored by Phoenix Custom Quality Rods. You can go check them out at www.phoenixrods.com or give them a call at 562-924-5400. Tell you what, they've got a fantastic rod. We've really enjoyed using them over the last little while. And matter of fact, we were talking about them earlier in the green room this afternoon. I got to use one of mine.
I'm telling you
that I had not put a reel on previously and put it on this weekend.
Made a believer.
Those are some nice rods.
Made a believer, didn't you?
They really are.
I'm telling you, what kind of tip did you have? Because I got one in case you don't.
Well, I kind of hit on it earlier, but I do want to say something that we can go back to that we experienced this past weekend. Again, when we very first started fishing, for example, this past Saturday, it was fairly cool that morning. It got hot really fast. And just in a matter of 3 to 4 hours, the fish that we were catching 4 foot of water all the way right up to the bank, up till about 8:30. And I'm telling you, as that sun came on up and got on that water, every fish we caught was a little deeper a little deeper. I don't mean they went running out in 70 foot of water, but they went to 8 foot of water. And then but by the end of that morning, but my tip in that is, just know that as that water heats up, those fish they may change a little bit. They're probably not going far. I mean, these fish didn't move 40 yards, 50 yards, but they did move. And if you had stayed on that bank, you'd have thought they were gone.
Yeah.
But if you just flipped out here, took the float off, because we'll use floats when we're in that shallow, take that off and hit it out there in 12 foot of water, and I mean, boom.
They hammered it.
So just know they may not have, they're probably not far. If you found out where they're at, they're going to be in that area.
And I also wanted to say, and this tip may be long, a good friend of ours, Anthony Landreth, just got diagnosed with Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And he had 3 ticks that bit him last Wednesday before he came on the show. Let me tell you what happened. He got really, really sick.
Here? Yeah,
at the show that night. We have said in the past on tick removal, I'm trying to go get you one of the tools. You can get them at pharmacies, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at your sporting goods, but they're a tick removal tool. Do not use Vaseline or the petroleum jelly, any of that stuff. Don't use a match to burn them, whatever, because they found out as soon as you do that, they regurgitate. When they lose their oxygen, they regurgitate into your body. That's what that poison's going into you. So the best thing to do is use one of those tick removal tools to remove the next tick, and hopefully he won't have ingested the poison into you. So just trying to tell everybody, it is here, it is serious, and it affects a lot of Tennesseans. So please just go get you one of those tick removal tools and keep it with you at all times. All right?
We'll take a quick break.
We'll be
right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.